All right, so let me actually, I've got to add an image so you guys can see what I'm working on. Thanks, Ninjataro, appreciate it. All right, so for those of you who have not seen our Twitter as far as this piece goes, so we did a 12-hour stream back in April, and we did a ton of giveaways, and one of the giveaways was a personal commission piece from me, because I do art. I love to do art, and I love to draw things, just all types of different things. And we ended up doing 4 commission pieces. So this is the last. This is number 4. This is the last one. Let me see. I gotta find this picture. Hold on. So this is the last one. This is actually for our friend Nick from. He's a good friend from the Co-op Trio podcast. He's one of the hosts, along with Watson. All right, Locke. Sleep tight, man. Thanks for popping in and chatting geek stuff.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
Thanks, Wolf. All right, here we go. Horizon. So this is for our good friend Nick from Co-op Trio podcast, and he is a humongous fan of Horizon Zero Dawn, the lead character Aloy. So we are going to be doing kind of like, there we go, focus. We're going to be doing a picture of her with him as her face, basically. So, bye, Dad. See you, bro. Thanks again. Can somebody give Locke a shout out, please, in the chat? Would really appreciate it. Let me make sure we're good to go. Everybody can see the paper. The white balance seems a bit off, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright, cool. So let me minimize this for a bit, and I'm going to actually pull it up full size on my end. Cross, I gotta know how you're liking Kingdom Hearts. I've heard you talk about it over the streams, but I want to know your reaction so far to the game, man. Are you digging it? Alright, so I'm using this as a reference. I'm using this picture as a reference. I'm gonna kind of put my own spin on it, obviously, like I always do. But we're gonna start with this as a reference, and then we'll go from there. The piece is probably gonna end up being like 11 by 14 or something like that. Or 16 by 20, depending on how much detail's in it. But I'll do my own background, I'll do my own foreground, and I'll probably mess with some of the details in the costume, but I'll keep the overall look at the costume the same. I have never played this game, full disclosure. Thanks, Wolf, for the shout out, appreciate it. I've never played this game, full disclosure, so a lot of this stuff I'm not sure what it is. Like, I know it's like mech infused with nature type deal, but I don't know, other than that I don't know a ton about it, so forgive my ignorance. Alright, so let's start. Let me minimize this a little bit. Starting is always the hardest part.
What makes one head of lettuce better than another? At Kroger, we take...
Alright, so we're gonna come in here and just get the overall placement. So this picture gives off a very specific like tone for this character, a very specific like I'm looking off into the distance, I'm going to murder you type tone. So I want to make sure that I get that in the initial drawing. So that's going to be the hardest part. So I'm probably going to redraw it a handful of times just to make sure that I'm getting the movement of the figure right. I like the shoulder placement and the arm placement, so I'm going to kind of concrete those in. So the shoulder shelf is kind of slanted up. The hip is kind of slanted down because this has like a slight bend in it. Everybody see this drawing okay? Is it coming across okay? For some reason, I had a 1080 camera, but it's coming through at like 680. What kind of supplies do you typically use? Honestly, whatever I have my hand on. This is just a regular, like a Winsor Newton pencil, which I didn't know they made pencils. And then I have a kneaded eraser. That's it. When it comes to inking, I love Micron pens. Those are my favorite. I have all different sizes because I feel like they're super solid pens. So. Again, I'm just getting overall placement of everything right now, and then I'll come in and start fine-tuning some stuff. Alright, so I can already tell its shoulder's too high and it's too close. Should be right there. There we go, much better. Cool. Oh, cool. No worries. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. This is open. I am an open book. I am not an expert. I did go to school for art. That does not make me an expert, but I have learned some things since I started drawing when I was really little. So feel free to ask me anything you want. Sorry for the throat clear. Trying to keep that to a minimum. When are you going to review the new Paw Patrol movie? I saw it today with the kids, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a few Paw Patrol comics already. I feel like it fits this. So, as soon as it doesn't cost $50 for my family to go see it, that's when I'll review it. So when it comes out for free, basically, then I'll review it. Dude, my kids were all about Paw Patrol for like a solid 3 months. And then we're like, yeah, I'm over it. But yeah, Joy looked, my wife looked at ticket prices for it. And yeah, it was like $50 for all of us to go. It's on Paramount Plus. Well, I don't have Paramount Plus. Shoot. Sorry. Alright, cool. I'm liking some of the shapes that I'm seeing. And that's one thing, like when I draw Sinjin, like a lot of times I'll just move my pencil around until I find a shape that I really like, and then I'll play with it a little bit. Like this part of the leg, I really like it because it pinches at the knee, which it should, and then it bows out for the flare on her boots. So I hope Nick doesn't mind, but I'm going to take some liberties with her muscles. Obviously, as always. So what do you like to draw, Sinchintaro? I see I'm nowhere near ready for anything like that. Oh, it's all good, man. Sorry, I say man pedantically. That's just something that I say, so I apologize. If that's not how you identify, please don't take it personal. Are you looking to draw like human form and stuff like that? Or what do you like to draw, I guess, is a better question. Or what are you wanting to draw? Man, that's messing up. I don't like that. There we go. That's it. I needed to draw the chest. So his chest is kind of... He's turned away, and he's bowed up a little bit. So I need to reflect that in the shape of his chest, and that will help me place his shoulder better. There we go. Perfect. All right, so his shoulder would be right here. So that's actually behind his arm a little bit, but it'd still poke out a little bit. It'd still poke out. So I call everyone bro. Dude, I do, man. I call everybody bro. Bro and dude. Even my wife and my kids. Dude, I call my mom, dude. What are you gonna do? You know? What is she gonna do? She ain't gonna do jack. I'm a grown man. She can slap me, for real. Alright, so I really want to emphasize the tricep muscle right here. And then the elbow. A little bit. The elbow looks bad. So elbow should come down. Okay. His arm shouldn't be that long either, because his hand kind of goes down like this. Perfect. I love it. Female Sinjin if that helps. It does not, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm dumb. I just figured out how to draw a simple tree. Oh, okay, cool. Tend to lean more abstract, whatever strikes my imagination. That's awesome. That's awesome. I guess you didn't ask me for a tip, but I'll give you a tip. The only tip that, one of the best tips that my art teachers gave me was just draw on a regular basis. So, if you can draw every day, but don't like get anxiety if you don't. That's my take on it. We had a sketchbook that we had to do in college, and we had to do a drawing every day, like a 5-minute drawing every day. And it had to be from life if possible, like life drawing. If you are looking to get into drawing people, I would recommend getting a really good human anatomy book. I can recommend several to you, but I would recommend getting a really good human anatomy book and just drawing muscles and figures over and over and over and over. So, just my 2 cents. But when you do draw abstract, focus on what you're actually seeing and not what you think you see, if that makes sense. So like, if I told you to draw a chair that actually exists in your room, you have a mental image of what that chair looks like, right? So you can draw it from memory, and it would probably look something like the chair. But if you actually sat down and looked at every nick, every turn in the chair, every bump in the surface metal, you know, like, it teaches you basically to really, really observe, as opposed to just like thinking you know what something looks like. Really observe, And that's how you get the pictures that there's something about the picture, you're like, man, that looks really good. And it's because it comes from real life. Like you're really observing that in real life. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but if it doesn't, just ignore me. I hope Nick doesn't mind me taking liberties with the muzzles. I know I've said that already, but I'm not making him gigantic, but I am gonna beef him out a little bit. I struggle with that and writing. I typically work 6 days a week, no time for anything creative. Thanks for the advice. I love some book suggestions. All right, cool. Hold on. Alright, so here's a couple. Alright. So forgive the Sharpie on this book. I drew, I got this when I was a little bit younger, so I had to cover up some of the sensitive bits, if you get what I'm saying. But this one is good. Joseph Shepard, Anatomy, A Complete Guide for Artists. This one's really good. It has a lot of drawn examples of musculature, specific items on the body, like noses and ears, hands, feet, legs, knees, arms, stuff like that. And the illustrations are phenomenal. Like, it goes super deep if you want to look at like skeletal type stuff. But again, this is hold up. Let me see. Joseph Shepard. No, it's not on Amazon. Oh yeah, it is. But it's really good. It's just a good reference. Oh, put it on the desk. That's good. That's a good idea. All right, so here it is. Joseph Shepard, Human Anatomy for Artists. Here's the Amazon link for that. Obviously I don't get paid for this by Amazon or by Joseph. I don't know Joseph, but it's a really good book. Here's another one, Artistic Anatomy. This is a more clinical, I guess, take on anatomy. It's really good though. This is probably one of my favorites. Yeah, I am putting Nick's head on Aloy Wolf. So this one is Artistic Anatomy by Paul Richter. Artistic Anatomy, Paul Richter. Here's another one that I really like. Now this has like real pictures in it of real people, but it also has illustrations in here, like that. So just a heads up on that. If you're sensitive to real life nudity, this is probably not the book for you. But this is a really good book, again, because it is real life examples. So this is Sarah Semblett. Anatomy. I can't spell. This book was expensive. So this is like a $50 or $60 book, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And then one more book that I would recommend is Wrinkles, which I suck at drawing wrinkles. But this is a really comprehensive book on how to draw and illustrate drapery and basically the physics behind drapery. It's a really, really, really cool book. Like how drapery really reacts to specific stimuli. So, it's a really good book. This is Dynamic Wrinkles and Drapery. Hold on. Now I'm pulling all these out like I'm a librarian and I reference these all the time. I don't. I'm really bad at it. But I do reference these from time to time and they are really, really good. So yeah, those 4 books, any one of those 4 books, you can't go wrong with those. But I would definitely recommend picking up at least one human anatomy book for real. That'll help you out a ton if you're trying to draw people. Because when you understand the makeup of a muscle and stuff like that, then you can draw it any way. You could draw it backwards, you could draw it upside down, you could draw it 3/4 view, partial view. You know, you can draw it any way you want. And that's the goal, right? You want to understand a muscle or a subject to the point where you can draw it backwards or forwards. Think old school Disney, like when they would bring in the animals for those, like Lion King and stuff like that. Like they brought in real lions and stuff for the artists to study. They knew lions so well that they could draw them in a 360 view, and they did. So, absolutely. So, yeah. I don't have a picture of Nick's head, so I'm gonna hold off on drawing Nick's actual face. But I'm gonna start drawing some of the details in the costume once I can get some of this done. But yeah, I would invest if you like abstract. Do you do like pen and ink, or do you do any digital at all, Sinjintaro? Excuse me. All right, one thing I want to call out is there's this thing called an action line in drawing for figures, and if you have a good action line, the figure shouts movement. Like you can tell that the figure is dynamic. It moves. It has action. It has energy. So getting a really good action line is super important. Nick's head on Aslan from Narnia. So for instance, this one is not super dynamic, but here is the action line. So, and the action line is normally the flow of the spine. The more movement you have in the spine, the more dynamic the figure is going to be. Think Spider-Man or acrobats or you know, that type of stuff where their spine is basically going like it's bending like 40 different ways, and you have their rib cage is up here, their pelvis is kind of down here, and you have Spider-Man. Let's just say Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like swinging from his web, you know. It looks super dynamic, right? And that's because of the flow of the spine, the flow of the action line. If you can master drawing a really good action line, you'll be a step ahead in figure drawing. Just dabbling in pencil and watercolors right now. Oh, I love watercolors. I should do watercolors on stream sometime, but they're just very time consuming. But that's cool. I love doing watercolors. Watercolors are awesome. All right, let's start drawing some of this stuff. Actually, let me finish drawing the legs first before I start getting super detailed. I don't know what some of these decorations are, so I'm probably going to draw them wrong. So again, please forgive me. is super detailed. This one might take a while, but I love super detailed stuff. It's just time consuming. I'm just roughly outlining this fur right now. I'll come in and detail this out later. Sorry, I tend to turn my page. I know that's not super streamer friendly, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum. Alright, I think what I'm going to do for her bow, considering this is extremely detailed, so I'm going to outline this on stream. I'm going to draw the general shape of it, but I'm going to outline it on stream on Photoshop. I'm assuming Nick wants to have the long hair. If he doesn't, I can change it. I'm just drawing the overall shapes of the face, so I know where to put everything. I feel like the ear needs to be a little bit higher, so let me really tell what's going on in a lot of this picture, so I might have to make up some stuff because it's not super clear. Super clear. Excuse me. Started playing Xenoblade today. Nice. I have never played that game. What system is it on? I have been obsessed with Red Dead Redemption 2. Excuse me. Sheesh. Nintendo Switch, gotcha. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. I really like it. It's probably one of my favorite games ever, but that's cool, man. I don't own a Switch. I remember my wife wanted a Wii U at one point, and I went out and I got the hardcore version, and I got like 3 games. And she never played it. So honestly, other than a PS4, I think that's the last system I bought, because I bought a PS4 I think late last year, I think, because I wanted to play games that I hadn't played, like God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm not trying to get these folds exactly like they are in this picture, but I want to get them similar. Favorite part would be when Arthur walks around with pirate trunks looking for Lenny. Dude, that was hilarious. That whole like cutscene is freaking hilarious, because then everybody turns into Lenny. I don't know why I'm really a fan of hunting in that game. Thank you, D. Appreciate it. Pretty soon we'll see Nick's head from Co-op on here. Excuse me. The face is not looking that great just because I I gotta get a picture of Nick from Nick. So I know what he looks like, but I need a picture that is kind of reminiscent of how Aloy is looking here. So I'll just put a placement in right now. Doesn't have to be exact.
What makes one head of lettuce better than another?
I'm not sure. Alright, so let's see. Excuse me. Alright, let's try a little bit of the detail on this arm, which I'm not super duper looking forward to. So I have no idea what this is on a wrist. But it does a little this number, a little this number. Kind of does a little shroop, and then a boop boop be-doop. This is not going to look anything like it probably should. I also love the traditional tools. Oh, really? Yeah, I like to start everything digital because I can like fine tune everything like traditionally, and then I'll scan it in, and because I'm a bit fat fingered digitally, so it helps if I do everything traditional first. At least that's how I like to do it. I really want to draw tattoos on her. Is that bad? I've always been late on the process. No, it's all good. Well, I normally only do that in the first week, so it's all good. I used to do the same when I did art, though. Started with pencil and scan it. Yeah, I do. I start with pencil, and then I'll ink and erase all the pencil. And then I'll scan it in, just because for me that just comes out a lot better normally. I know she doesn't have anything back here as far as like the skirt thing goes, but I feel like it needs something. No, I don't want to do the same thing that that's doing. I'll do that later. I can work on like some like mountain range type stuff. This is a good idea, or a good place to talk about like movement in a picture, like composition. So that looks like she's holding a lightning bolt. You want your eye, when you're doing a composition, you want your eye to flow through the whole picture and not get stuck in one part of it. So like these would be called like leading lines, because I want your eye to kind of start here and kind of move up, and then she's pointing down, so you kind of go down in the picture, and it makes you look at her legs again and then come back up. So it's like a circular type thing, which is what you want. Yeah. Yes, ink first. Yeah, I missed that bit. I haven't done art in so long. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's been cool being able to do it once a week, because I hadn't been able to do it a whole lot before the art stream. So I've really enjoyed it. You start to second guess yourself a lot when you do art. So it's cool being able to like just kind of do stuff over and over and over. So basically the bow is going to be here. And here. And the string is going to be like that. Like that. Something like that. Excuse me. I just booted up my stream, so I'm alert. Cool. Thanks, thanks again for popping in. Appreciate it. Let's do a shout out. All right. I feel like I want to ink some of this, but I might wait. All right, I can draw some of these necklaces though. I know. It's cold. I've had this cold for like 8 or 9 days now. It's kicking my butt, but I'm on the other side of it. So it's just the coughing is just ridiculous. Persistent coughs are the worst. Yeah, it's like the cough. Sorry to keep coughing on mic, but it's like the cough when you breathe out. You can't stop. Oh yeah, let's turn the music back on. I don't know what the heck this is on her leg. Up here? On her left leg? I have no idea what that is. Looks like a bunch of tassels. So I'm gonna simplify this a bit. Nick, if you're on, I'm sorry. But I need to simplify this a bit just for the piece. There we go. Haven't heard that one in a while. Nice. Thanks for the sound alert, Wolf. Alright, so I think I am going to start inking a little bit. Get my inks out. They're all over the place. So 2 8s. I don't need 2 8s. 2 5s. Okay. I'm gonna start off with an 8. No, I'll start off with a 3. Excuse me. Alright, so let's come in here. And I'm going to do a light outline right now until I get Nick's actual face. Excuse me. Alright. So we'll ink some of these. The fur is gonna be cool. Like, that's gonna be cool. Breathing coughs are the worst. Yeah, last time I had a I had to cough so much I wasn't breathing enough. Ended up in the ER. Dang. No, I should be good, but it does this every time I get a cold. It always ends like this. So it's like, oh, you're feeling better. You're getting better. Here, let me let you cough every time you breathe out. So, but that's hardcore, man. You ended up in the ER for coughing. That would not have been good. Excuse me. I need to fix this just a tad. Professor Utonium. I gotta look it up now. Professor Utonium. It does. Oh, that's funny. It does. My body is something of a drama queen. No, if there's any option to act like it's dying, then it does. Dude, that sucks, man. Do you do like chronic type stuff, or is it just random? Chronic and random, gotcha. That sucks, man. Chronic's the worst. Because, like, can't really do anything. It's just going to be here. It's just here, which is fantastic.
What makes one head of lettuce better than another? At Kroger,
sorry, I'm cheap. I don't pay for Spotify. But if you've been here for any length of time, these are the heroes. You know that. Pick a body part out of our story. Jeesh. But if it's something specialists are considering academically interesting. That is awful. That is just awful. I'm so sorry you have to go through that. I can't even imagine. Because like when you go to the doctor, you're like, I want an answer. I want to know that I'm not crazy and that what I'm experiencing you've heard of before and that you have a fix for. You know? So that's just nuts. Mostly nothing too dangerous, just tons of inconvenience. Gotcha. Kroger. Darn you, Kroger. Darn you and your delicious ads. I don't know what this is on her shin. I just don't know. Doctors are really reassuring for me at this point. I guess the thing about like chronic condition is like, you know what it is and you know if it's so like when you walk into the doctor, you're like, look, I'm dealing with this. I know what it is. Can you help me? It's the one time you don't want to be interesting or unique. Thanks, Tuna Fish. Appreciate it. Everybody has an artsy side. Pablo Picasso said that. Every child is an artist. Everybody is creative in some aspect, shape, or form. Doctors are really reassuring. It's the one time you don't want to, yeah. Alright. Alright, let me draw some of these necklaces real quick. So I was wrong. How dare you? Play music. I wish I could draw though. I wish I could play music, so what are you gonna do? I do play guitar a little bit though. But it's been a while. It's been a while. Pencil's running away from me. I love listening to music when I draw. It's just so relaxing for me. I feel like drawing is the thing that you need to practice a lot and you can be good, but it takes a lot of time and effort to get comfortable with it. If I don't do it for too long, I lose my ability, then I'll practice again consistently, it's easier again. Grandparents give me mechanical pencils in the mail today, probably for drawing. Nice. Yeah, drawing definitely takes practice. I don't know if you necessarily lose it, but you maybe lose your sharpness. But the thing with what I've noticed is that the thing when you're drawing on a consistent basis, you're always learning from yourself on how not to do things. So you're consistently making yourself better. So that's one of the cool aspects about art. Like, I don't have an incredibly steady hand, but because I've been doing Art of the Hero for, I don't know how long we've been doing it now, a long time. My hand has gotten a lot steadier, which is really cool. But it's just from like just tons of repetition, you know. I also tend to not breathe when I draw, which is pretty par for the course. Dude, that's awesome that you play the bass. Electric and bass, that's sweet. What type of music are you into, Tuna Fish? I definitely lose it. I was never on your level, but I used to take commissions and know I'm your brother. Yeah, but I mean, if you got consistent for like a month, it would all come back, like without a doubt. And I'm not just saying that, like, because I've been through spells where I haven't drawn in years, and it comes back. It definitely comes back. I watched Princess Mononoke last night for you anime fans, and I really want to draw a piece based on that again. Oh, I've never actually drawn one before, but I would love to. Some say practice. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I love Princess Mononoke. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite Miyazaki Studio Ghibli film. I'm gonna try to do some interesting things with the background on this one. I'm gonna try to do some digital painting, which I don't do a ton of. So, But we'll probably still be drawing this next week. I'm not done yet. I'm not like leaving the stream or anything, but probably still be drawing this next week. And then once we scan it in, we'll do some digital painting. So we'll probably be on this for like 3-4 weeks. Maybe not 4. Probably 3. So I'll probably work on it during the week sometime. Because I really, really, really want to get to that. I want to do a Ninja Turtles piece after this. It's my always forget about. But then I just love it. Oh, yeah. It'll probably be my favorite too. Yeah, I haven't seen all of his movies, and some of them are just not in my wheelhouse. Like there's this one, oh, what's it called? The Wind Rises, I think it's what it's called. It's a really, really good movie, but it's about airplane pilots or airplane creators in World War II, Japanese airplane creators in World War II. So it's not like subject matter that I would normally be interested in, but the animation is just so good, and the story is super compelling. But it's I like anime because it does what normal life can't do. Like you have fantastical elements in anime. Or you do things with animation that you can't do in normal life. That's why I appreciate animation. That's what I look for in animation. Was that interesting to watch once? Yeah. Now there is this one, it's not a Miyazaki film, but it reminded me of a Miyazaki film. It's called Boy and the Beast. My wife took me to see that in a theater, and we bought it the second it came available to buy. It's such a cool movie. If you haven't seen that, I would definitely recommend it, actually. Speaking of, definitely, in my opinion, definitely has a Miyazaki vibe. It's Mamoru Hosoda, but it is so cool, and the ending of that movie is phenomenal. Have I seen Princess Kaguya? I don't think I have. Let me look it up real quick. Princess Kaguya. No, I haven't. It's in my watch list, or it's in my wife's watch list rather. I have not seen it. Is it hand painted? It looks hand painted like watercolor. It's very beautiful. Yeah, it's really pretty. Basically a watercolor film. Ooh, and it's beautiful to watch, but I'm not sure if it's hand painted. That's awesome. I'm all about watercolor. I would love to watch that. I've seen... Sorry, I'm trying to see how many Miyazaki films I've seen. I definitely have not seen all of them. I've seen My Neighbor Totoro, Castle in the Sky. No, I have not seen Castle in the Sky, actually. I've seen Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. I've seen part of Ponyo, The Wind Rises. So there's quite a few that I actually haven't seen. Excuse me. But Princess Mononoke is just so good. I think what I like about it is it's so... What's up, Taz? Thank you. Really appreciate you popping in. You might have seen them all. Yeah. I don't want to go into my favorites list because we're going to cover that this Sunday with when Mock and I talk, but I definitely like older animes Not like in general, but I think a lot of my favorites are older animes. But I love Princess Mononoke. It's so good. And I think I like it because I'm a sucker for an epic, like a movie epic. And I feel like Princess Mononoke with the sweeping visuals and the music and the voice acting and the animation, it's just so good, man. It's so good. Like, I was talking to my wife about the animation last night because we were, again, I'm trying to cram for this Sunday stream. And there's a scene where Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke is climbing up a bamboo ladder. And every step that he takes, the ladder bends in. And it's such a small detail. It's such a small detail in the movie, or in the animation, that your brain probably doesn't register. But it just makes it that much more real and that much more enjoyable. It's just so cool. Tales from Earthsea. That sounds familiar. Tales from Earthsea sounds familiar, actually. I have not seen Tales from Earthsea, but it looks like something I would like. I'm a huge dragon fan, so... That looks fairly new, right? Is that fairly new? So enjoyable, not soon. Those details really make the story. Immersion, I agree. I heard an interview with Miyazaki, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but he's basically like, sometimes you just want your characters to sit on a train and just sit there. Because, like, that's real life. People just are. People just exist. And it's those moments where you can just breathe with a character that really kind of immerse you in the story. Excuse me. Excuse me. But yeah, I really enjoy that movie. Not that new. Okay. Also, dragons aren't a huge feature for the majority of the film. Burning is a little deceptive. Got it. Nausicaa. That sounds familiar too. Yeah, that was one of his first ones. That was 84. I do know that one. I haven't seen that one, but I do know of that one. I had friends. I really like Howl's Moving Castle. I like Spirited Away. But I had friends that were really, really into that, and I guess it was just the what do you call it when you like you want to be the first in something? Because I guess I just wasn't the first in that. Like I was like, it's all right. It's a really good movie. It's not my top. Everybody goes nuts for My Mini Totoro. Yeah. I mean, I don't hear a lot about Princess Mononoke, honestly. And I feel like that is probably one of his best films, like, in general. Like, they're okay. They don't stand out above the others by any means. Yeah. Honya is so cute, though. My wife hates that movie. I haven't seen it. I've seen parts of it, and I don't mind it, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so... I feel like I keep drawing the same thing over and over. But I can only draw so much tonight because I don't have some of the stuff that I need. Salvation and Shenanigans. Thank you. Appreciate it. We are going to be putting Nick from Co-op Trio's head or face on Aloy, so stay tuned. And I apologize beforehand for all the coughing that I'm going to be doing. Excuse me. Just feels like more basic in terms of story and relationship depth, but it's just a cute little side of enjoyment. Gotcha. So your hands don't sweat when you draw? My hands don't really sweat when I draw. No, not really. I sweat very easily, but my hands don't sweat when I draw. I do have calluses on my hands. Sorry, you guys saw me picking my calluses. I forgot you can see my hands. But yeah, my hands are pretty dry though. Maybe why I prefer a lot of the older background film choices like Castle in the Sky and others I mentioned. There's a lot more to the story depths and development of relationships, etc. I feel like, and I feel this way with Disney too, I feel like some of the older animation, I feel like there was a lot more care taken in the older animation. And that might just be my perception. I probably am wrong, but it's just how I feel. So we're gonna do a much thinner line so we can do some of the detailing on the garment. Yeah, I gotta do it on this one too. Excuse me. I feel like I need to work on this leg. It's bugging me. I should probably pay for Spotify. The amount that I use it. Right now I'm just drawing the fur lines. I'm not getting super detailed with the fur yet, but I will in just a second. A lot of the images I mentioned have really deep, compelling stories that don't necessarily follow traditional arcs, but have honorable or valuable messages learned throughout. Not to say they're not also entertaining, but the message is more than just here's enjoy an arbitrary story. Yeah, which I don't mind. But I definitely like animes that were, you know, upon multiple viewings, you get something more out of it every time you watch it. Like for me, I'm not normally an episodic anime liker. I do like some episodic animes, like Neon Genesis is one of them that I really like, but I normally like movies. I'm just a movie fan. I love movies and I love anime. I love animation. But speaking of Neon Genesis Evangelion, I feel like you can get involved with that story at any level you want. You can, on face value, take it as this is a mech fighting an alien invasion story, or you can get super, super, super deep with the story. But yeah. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that, but I definitely like animes that have deeper meanings. Yes, I feel like if the character is the same at the end as the beginning, then rewatching gets boring a lot sooner because it's so much sameness. Yeah, develop significantly over time, and there's so much moreness you can enjoy time and time again. Yeah, I agree. And again, for me, it's a lot of it is the animation, like the actual art and animation. Like, if more time is spent on that, then I feel like for me personally, I can enjoy it more. Too many stories where things happen but don't actually affect the characters. Yeah, there's this thing in cinema where it's like, I forgot what it's called, but it's called the something regarding the gun. Like, if a movie shows a gun and focuses on a gun in the movie, and then the gun isn't used or isn't referred to at all later in the movie, then that's like a cardinal sin in a movie, you know? Like, stuff that happens in the movie should what am I trying to say? Stuff that happens in the movie should make a difference, should be important. Like, you shouldn't just have random stuff happening in movies and it doesn't impact the actual story. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, I feel like that's a trap popularity. When your character is beloved, you don't want to change it. So further storytelling resists character change and becomes stale. Yeah. Well, that's a lot of comics. People get so used to character, and when the publishing company wants to change them, people go nuts. But sometimes that's what the character needs, man. Characters need to grow. And Cross and I was talking about him specifically, because this is a hot button of his. Like, should there be growth in comics? Like, once a character dies, should we just move on to another character, to another arc, to another set of stories? Like, I think there should be just evolution in comics from that standpoint. And I don't know if I disagree with that, actually. I mean, I love my characters, you know? I love my characters, and I love them for specific reasons. And when those reasons change, or, you know, the character motivations change, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that's what people do, though, that people change. So I think characters in animation should probably reflect that, right? I really feel like there should be something right here. Not digging it though. Excuse me. I feel like a lot of comics and storytelling in general is focused around messages and lessons, and it's not realistic to be able to associate those messages or lessons with our real lives if the characters have a static existence. It's about relatability, even if we could never experience the exact same situation.
At Kroger, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order.
Alright, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to stop because I can't do a ton more until I have Nick's face, which sounds extremely like Hannibal Lecter-esque. Excuse me. I'm going to pull a Rob Liefeld and not draw her feet. I get the comics or anime, etc. are an escape to a more ideal reality for a lot of people, but if excuse me, if that other character reality becomes static or stale, then we will always be disappointed when we return to reality. Whereas there's great power in being able to merge the two and affect positive change in reality. That's deep. That's deep. Yeah, I definitely feel like in anime specifically, I feel like a lot of people get locked into this, locked into the culture and locked into the ideal of the anime world and like lose touch, you know. I also think I'm going way too deep with this. Probably for me because I'm not that smart. So, but no, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you thought about it to this depth. Static character perpetuates the concept of a perfect person, which is wrong. Yep. Excuse me. Whoever painted this just did a fantastic job. Excuse me. Kind of hadn't thought about this consciously before now, but I guess my subconscious has been active on this level beneath the layers. I really want to go into the depth with this stuff, but I don't know if I've thought about it at your level, D. But we're gonna talk about it so much this Sunday. I don't want to steal any thunder. Alright, so let's work on this just a teeny bit more. Let's try to work on this armband attack. No worries. I love talking about anime. So, alright. So, D, what's your favorite anime at all? Or, at all? What's your favorite anime ever? That's what I meant to say. It's been a fantastic distraction, though. At some point, my painkillers kicked in. Honestly, nice. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it could be a distraction. Or glad we could be a distraction. I'm glad Comics and Cross could be here for you. You don't do favorites. Hey, I get it. I get it. What would be in your top 3? No favorites. How about that? What are some of your favorites? Since you don't do favorites, what are some of your top? Different situations, different solutions. Got it. Initial D. Okay. I have never seen that, Wolf. I have never seen it. But isn't that that's an older anime, right, Wolf? Isn't that from like the late 80s, early 90s? Almost anything depending on my mood and whatever I'm dealing with at the time. I get it. I don't dislike a lot. I'm trying to think of an anime that I don't like. I don't know if I can think of any offhand. Excuse me. Oh, I had this discussion with Locke on stream the other day. I'm not a huge fan of, like... This is gonna sound extremely patronizing, but like the super kiddie animes, like the really chibi, like exaggerated facial feature animes. Not a huge fan of that. I really like... And not that they don't take themselves seriously in those animes, but I really, really prefer animes that take themselves more seriously. That being said, I love Dragon Ball, and it has its chibi moments, but... There's some things I don't specifically dislike, but don't hold in the highest regard. Got it. My Neighbor Totoro and Spirit Away. Got it. Here's one that people often can't accept. I don't enjoy the Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan either, honestly, D. So, you and I are in good company. Ourselves. And I think part of it is the fact that it came out a little too late for me. I was more of a Dragon Ball Z fan, which I'm a huge fan of. It's probably in my top. But that's just because that got me in the door. That was my gateway drug, so to speak, for anime. Or one of them. Not the, but one of them. This black outline is really popping this. I really like this a lot. Yeah, dude, I get it. I get DBZ is in the category. I get it. I didn't grow up with these, so I don't have nostalgic attachment, and it just doesn't hold up. I get it. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like when you put the black outline on it, it just changes things, man. It just makes it look so much better. I feel like I need to work on this hand a tad. It's not where I want it. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't have the fingers going in. That's why. I really want to draw his face, but I can't. It's kind of like adults today thinking children's shows today are terrible. The only difference to the shows of your childhood is you're experiencing with adult eyes first. I agree 100%. I agree. Like, one of my favorite shows growing up was Ninja Turtles. That was one of them. And Spider-Man. And X-Men. And those shows are pretty bad. I mean, all things considered, to be like perfectly like transparent, the animation is awful. Some of the stories are pretty bad, but I hold them in high regard just because of the nostalgic value, and they're about some of my favorite characters. So I agree with you 100%. Ah, okay, gotcha. Alright, I think I actually might call it here. Let me just erase all these pencils. Oh, let me finish outlining her arm. Or his arm, because it's a he. So we got the main body of Aloy done. I'll get Nick's face this week and put that on her. Then detail some of it out. I might try to get it scanned in before next week so we can start doing some painting on it next week. And then hopefully wrap it up the following week, because I don't think we'll wrap it up next week. So it's probably going to be 3 weeks before I get into the Ninja Turtle piece that I'm going to be doing. It's a fun fact, I guess. I grew up without really. I had friends that did that. Well, I didn't have a lot of friends that, speaking honestly, that grew up without television. But I did have a couple friends that grew up without a television. So, but now that you're an adult, you can do whatever you want to do. And if you want to watch television, you can. If you want to read, you can. If you want to draw, you can. So that's the cool thing about being an adult. You can do whatever you want, within reason, obviously. Let me switch back to the solo cam. And thanks for everybody for popping out tonight. And as always, it's a good week to be a geek. I love you all, and I will holler at you later. See ya.